All right, let's get this little review going on. This is August the 24th, 2026. My name is JB. We're just going to do a little bit of a review here. If you don't mind looking at my big handicap self here. Uh, Today we're going to be at a local park close by where I live at. I live down here close to the coast. Trying to pick this day this morning a little early in the morning because, man, it was like stinking hot down here all week, and I want to get down here before that wind picks up. Being that we live down here at the coast, we get quite a bit of that wind that comes off of the water, and so having the drones down here, they can be kind of touch and go at times, especially the closer that you get to the water. And so what I did, I found went to do a little research at the park here in the area that I live at in my state. Um, some state parks you can't operate a drone, whether it's recreational or whether it's for hire. But this is a particular municipality. It's just a basic public park that's owned by the town that I live in. And so, searching the website, I couldn't find anything on the website stating that you can't operate a drone. Being that you're operating a drone, you don't want to fly it over people or a mass of people. You definitely can't fly it over somebody's house, and you can't use the drone for hunting purposes and scoping out where the spots of where the animals run. So you got quite a few limitations. But today we're just going to do some recreational stuff here. We're not really doing a whole lot. The only purpose of this video is today just trying to document it for myself. I just thought I might want to share with you guys some of my stuff here that I've learned. What I'm running here, the equipment that I'm running is a HolyStone HS720. I bought this thing back in 2022. Shortly after I had bought it, carried it to another local park in my area, and I got probably less than 30 minutes flight time with this thing. This thing has been sitting in the case for several years, and I haven't done anything with it, and that's shame on me for that. But I've got an upcoming trip or vacation that we're going to be doing here in a few months, and so I was like, let's go ahead and drag this thing out and kind of get a jump on this thing here because I really do enjoy the drones. And I have to admit, this thing was somewhat intimidated um, to operate this. I had an older drone a few years ago, and that thing was very difficult to fly. The first maiden voyage of that uh, other drone that I had, it wound up in a tree line because it was really uncontrollable. And drone technology has really come a long ways in the last, at least the last 10 years. And so basically with this here, you just push a button and the auto mechanics of it all will basically take over if you feel that you're kind of limited on your knowledge of operate. So basically, um, with this drone that I have, basically I did lift off. I'm not running the GPS on this thing, just all basically by sight. I'm not even using my phone software on this because I just want to kind of get a hands-on approach and see what this thing's doing. Um, Hands on because a lot of times when you're looking at your phone trying to fly these things, you really can't see below you and around you. You just basically have a tunnel vision. But I want to keep my eyesight on this thing because I've got all these trees that are close by, and I really didn't want to wind up having this $250 drone in a tree line or having it or out there in the water or having the thing somewhere crashing on the pavement. And so I really wanted to take my time and kind of get the hang of it. And one thing I did learn about this drone is that the controls are somewhat sluggish, and so when you take your fingers off of the button, it takes just a few seconds before the drone would actually recognize what you're doing. So you have to allow for yourself for that. You can't really do any precision flying possibly with this drone because of that, because there is a delay. So what we're doing here, I'm just trying to get just as close as I can to myself and see how well I can control it, because when you're flying these things and you're looking at a drone like that, you're looking at this thing's head on. And so when you move your joystick to the left, the drone is going to go the opposite way. When you move your joystick down, it's pretty much going to go down. But when you're moving your joystick to move it forward, depends on if the drone is backwards or not. So you kind of have to reverse. And so, and so from here, we're just trying to get a little feel of the drone and trying to get close up and see if I can actually do, because I didn't want to clip myself with the props, but then again, I wanted to see just how close I could get it to myself and still have a little bit of precision. And it didn't do bad, I think. Like I said, they don't make this particular model anymore. I bought this model 4 years ago, and they got other versions out now. I'm trying to look on Walmart is where I bought this from, but Walmart don't sell them, and neither do Amazon. And so it's kind of an older drone. And like I said, other than today, I've got less than 30 minutes flight time on this thing. And so just trying to get the basics down pat, and because it was just really, really something. I mean, you live in the area and you really don't know what the area that you live in looks like from an aerial view. And so getting this thing up today about 250 275 feet, it was it's kind of like a kid in the candy store. It's just very surprising to see the surroundings, but like I said, it was somewhat intimidating, because like I said, I didn't want to crash this thing, and didn't want to cause harm to nobody. But then again, it's just taking off, like especially like when you're flying a real aircraft, and when you're in the cockpit, you don't want to crash and burn and do a nosedive and kill yourself. And so yeah, it just take your time, and spend a little bit of time with it and get a little hands on. That's always the best. But it was still stinking hot out there, even this morning at 9 o'clock. The sun was already out, and it was about 95 degrees, and I was already sweating just even out there with my farmer's hat on. But overall, I was pretty impressed. Pretty impressed with the performance of it, being that I'm kind of a newbie on this. And so, yeah, about broke my neck trying to look up at this thing, because man, that thing it was up there pretty far, and I could tell when I got up above tree line, all that wind that was coming off the sound and coming off the intercoastal waterway, I could tell that the drone was somewhat fighting against those turbulence. And then again, I've got an airport that's not too far from where I was at. Now the area that I was at, I mean, it's actually open airspace, and so you can fly. Have to get Yvonne out here and let her try this thing. So you can actually fly it in the area, but being that there's not too far from where I'm at, there's a helicopter pad. For some reason, it's not responding that well to coming down. It comes down a lot slower than when it goes up. But yeah, I was just basically talking to myself. Was saying that this drone it goes up satisfied. It goes up faster than what it was coming back down. And so I was just trying to learn this thing, and that's the only way to get there, do it, just to get there, take your time, not under a whole lot of stress. And get there and see what you can do with it. That's the only way you can learn it. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? So yeah. So in a nutshell, just trying to get my hands on this thing and trying to base it, not necessarily seeing what it can do, but seeing what I can do. Because I didn't want this thing to get up here and get a mind of its own, and take off and wind up somewhere over there in the waterway with all the alligators. And I didn't want to wind up that thing landing in somebody's backyard. And because one thing I learned the first time I carried this thing up is just take your time. Don't get in a hurry and trying to rush yourself and push yourself above your own limits, because that's when you have problems with the drone. That's when you're going to wind up crashing the drone and losing it, and something drastic is going to happen. But that's pretty much about it in a nutshell. And here this thing's coming to an end, so I'm getting ready to land this thing back where I had taken off from. And so yeah, overall now I've got to just get my wife out here and let her try her hand at this thing. And she's not too excited about it, but I think she's kind of timid within itself, like I was. But the only way you can learn this stuff is just to get out here and do it. You know, see so many videos of people pushing themselves and the drone beyond the capabilities and trying to overdo it. And so here, as you can see, that tree that was on the left, the drone was flying so fast that I was like, "Oh my gosh, that thing is going to hit that tree." So when I got here, I just went ahead and just moved the joystick straight up, and I carried it up to about 300 AGL, and then about right here is when I could tell the wind was trying to catch it and trying to move it, and I was like, "Well, let me bring this thing back down a little bit because you can't really tell it, but that wind is coming off that intercoastal waterway." And yeah, there's the over there that you can see behind the park in that area is part of the airport over there. But I had all these high fences to the baseball field. But like I said, pretty overall, man. I was really impressed with this little drone. Really impressed with my capabilities. And so now it's got me thinking about bigger, but I want to get my hands on this thing a little bit more, get more familiar with it. And so just my little grown boy's toy, if you will. So my iced coffee sitting on the back of the tailgate. It was getting melted, and so I mean, you don't realize how big you are till you see yourself. I'm used to being on the other end of the lens, not on that side. But being disabled, I just can't get around and move so much. But that's it for a nutshell. We're landing this thing in the grass, touchdown. Nothing was tore up, nothing was broken. It was a good day. Anytime you can land safely, you can walk away. It's a good day. All right. Well, thank you for watching. We'll check you guys.